Okay, looks like the stream is all set up and ready to go. All right, here we go. Chris Christie got 0.3% of the vote.
Wow, 0.3% of voters are obviously related to him in some way.
Clearly. I'm going to go ahead and join a friends only room. And if you're able to get on at any point, just hop on in. Have you considered drinking a lot of alcohol to deal with the pain in your foot? Is that a realistic option?
Um, because of how it helps handle pain, yes, but it's super expensive. So like,
True. Just borrow some of your mom's rubbing alcohol and drink it.
nice.
So I was watching another episode of Financial Audit yesterday at the gym. I finally got earbuds. I decided I wanted to listen to things while working out, and it's actually helping quite a bit, helping me not get bored on the machines. And there was this woman who took out a payday loan with 800% interest.
Why?
She needed to go on vacation with her mom, and she had no money.
Wild.
She borrowed $1,100 and had to pay back $5,500.
That's insane.
So hearing this made me think about that thing that you said about how um, interest rates are immoral because too many people in the population don't understand them, or whatever it was
Yeah.
that you said. Do you remember? You know what I'm talking about.
That that the Bible banned usury, and which is just interest on a loan, uh, because it's almost like just taking advantage of people for not being intelligent, because so many people are incapable of processing what interest actually is and what it does to you and what you end up having to do paying it off and all that kind of shit. So it's basically just a giant IQ test where when you fail it, you just owe a shitload of money.
You fuck up your life most of the time.
Right. So it's like it's almost like preying on people who are incapable of defending themselves almost because they're so stupid that they don't understand that they're getting fucked. And that's a great example.
And this woman was not especially dumb or anything. She didn't seem like she was especially unintelligent. She did have a charcoal briquette complexion, if you catch my
Oh
meaning,
boy. Yeah, seriously.
but she seemed totally normal. And she's smart enough to know she can't do this anymore. That's why she went on the show to get help. So she's that fucking smart. But she's still signed up for a payday loan of 800% interest. Believe it or not, George isn't at home. Please leave a message at the beep. I must be out, or I'd pick up the phone. Where could I be? Believe it or not, I'm not home. Donald Trump has broken the record for most votes ever received in a New Hampshire presidential primary, surpassing the record of 152,193 votes set by Bernie Sanders
Oh.
in 2016. Yeah, Nelsonator, we got to be able to do better than that. I'm sorry, but Patrick Graham isn't even that good of a defensive coordinator, I would argue. Like, he's had some good seasons, but what makes him better than the Bengals guy, Lou Amonrello, or whatever the fuck his name is?
Speaking of coaching staff named Lou, I have seen a very suspiciously large amount of people caping up for Tyronn Lue, with the whole Griffin getting fired and Doc Rivers being hired as a replacement. I have no idea why people are suddenly camping up for Ty Lue, but I'm all like, hey, isn't awful? Have we known that for years?
Haven't we already determined that this guy sucks, or are we just going to forget about everything that.
Exactly.
No, I know he's done good things, Nelsonator. But if you're going to get a defensive guy, you should be able to get Mike McDonald. Yeah, well, Nelsonator, I kind of feel like we were not going to fire Carol. And then the meeting with Jody didn't go well, and she was like, well, you're fired. Maybe he had sex with the cleaning lady on the desk in his office.
Uh-oh.
Maybe he went in there and she was expecting a speech about where the team is headed and what he's going to do to make it better next year, and he just said the N word.
Uh-oh. Yeah, could you imagine?
I don't know. There's just something about that is so funny to me. It's like this performance art piece. Kawhi with a triple double to beat the Lakers. Good for him. Can't wait to watch him sit on the sideline for the next month and a half to celebrate.
Fucking seriously. But the good news is, I believe the Lakers are back down to the 10th seed. But I'm not sure. I just really want the Lakers to not even make the play-in tournament. If the Lakers and the Warriors both miss the play-in tournament, I will be so happy.
You will pop so many boners.
Also, I think LeBron wanting to play with his son, it might sound like a good idea initially, but I think the novelty would wear off after like one game for him because his kid obviously is not an NBA caliber talent, and the team would not be even remotely competitive with the kid on the team. Because
Dude.
like,
Oh, dude. In the fucking first game, LeBron's going to try to throw him an alley oop, and it's going to be like the Udonis Haslam alley oop when he was like 48 years old.
oh my god, that was fucking amazing. Yeah, pretty much because like the kid right now, like I'm never going to be able to forget this as long as I live. Somehow, some way, LeBron managed to swindle USC into giving this kid a fucking shot on the team, and he has to look at the ball as he dribbles. Like I haven't seen that shit since I was in school, like literally a child playing with other children, and here this guy's playing fucking NCAA basketball. These games are for real. USC is not exactly, a fucking blue chip franchise, but
They're not Pepperdine.
exactly. Like he looks at the ball as he dribbles. I mean, I've almost never seen this fucking shit getting called in an organized game, whether it's
Professional.
NCAA or professional or whatever. He gets called for double dribble pretty routinely. When's the last time you seen somebody get called for that? Jesus.
You know, what he needs to do is just learn how to shoot. Just learn how to shoot threes and then camp on the 3 point line and never dribble with the ball. Just
Yeah,
catch and
like
shoot.
exactly. He needs to study Jalen Brown's game. And that's the funny thing about Jaylen Brown is that he's actually so good when he doesn't dribble. But then the moment he takes more than one dribble, he becomes so insanely awful.
Yeah, it's like when Sam Hyde put that thing on his head and was like, now I'm going to push this button to make myself retarded.
That's exactly what it was like. That's amazing.
I'm down to 1% on my rod stability.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to try to catch a couple more fish and see if it breaks. Well, wait, if it breaks, can I repair it, or is it just fucked forever?
I'm not sure. I don't know. If it breaks fully, you may need to buy a new one, or at the very least, when you repair it, it'll be extra expensive. Not a good decision.
Right, I'm just going to leave then. How's the game reinstall going on your end? There's a Wikipedia page about Jewish pirates? I didn't know that was a thing. Okay.
What's the thing? What happened?
Right Guy just said there's a Wikipedia page about Jewish pirates.
Uh-oh.
The ocean called. They're running out of shrimp. Yeah, I did see that, Carson. I was rather confused by it, but I guess the Raiders don't have a lot of money to spend on good candidates, so they may do what they can. Snack, since you're kind of a fitness person, I want to ask you,
Hmm.
is there ever a circumstance where you would recommend a personal trainer for a normal person?
For somebody who really just does not have a fucking clue what they're doing, but they've got the money to spend on getting a trainer.
Hmm.
But then the concern becomes, how do you know that you got somebody? Like, it's not exactly the most complicated shit in the world. But still, there's a world of difference between somebody who's just like some guy versus people who really know what the fuck they're doing.
Like a lot of people seem to
For
say personal trainers are for like professional athletes and people trying to run marathons and shit.
Yeah, and those are guys who are using very highly trained professionals, along with them having the money to be able to spend on that kind of a thing. But for a regular, everyday, average person, what they need to know is not overly like difficult to learn. Uh, they might benefit from one or two personal trainer courses. Um, if they get offered like for free, because some places do that kind of a thing. Where they're like, well, yeah, your first training session will be free. That's good because you can learn what the proper setup is supposed to feel like. Because like, let's use an example. Let's say that someone's never done squats with a barbell before. Um, Having a trainer can help in the sense that teaching them the proper form for that so that they can know what it feels like. So in the future, if they're doing it on their own and something feels weird, they're like, "Wait, I've got to be doing something wrong. This isn't how it felt that first time."
Hmm. Makes sense.
That can be a big benefit, but by and large, the amount of money that people spend on it, it's not good. It is insanely full now, or very large capacity. I mean, 200 pounds.
Hmm. I'll swap out my net when I get to level 30. I'll bet at level 30 I unlock a hella nice one. Like six
Well, the
good
one that you get
pounds.
at 30 is the one that I have right now.
Oh,
That you unlock at 28.
oh, so there's not a new one.
So yeah, yeah. I just went and got it already because I had to go to the main world to repair. I was like, fuck it, while I'm out here.
I think I'm gonna get a poster with that meme that says, "Were you gooning or were you edging?" That's beautiful. I want to hang that on my wall.
You got to make sure it's within eyesight of the camera for
People would get so confused. All my videos would get demonetized.
exactly. Oh, oops! I forgot to take that down before the weekly Zoom meeting. Mr. Nelson, I've got to ask you, what exactly is gooning? Don't Google it.
Yeah, I think I sent you that tweet. This girl I follow on X was like, "What the hell is gooning? Isn't a
Oh.
goon like a low-level mob enforcer or something?"
Oh
And
boy.
everyone's like, "Yeah, that's what it is. Please don't look it up any further." JC Jackson's an all-timer, isn't it, Carson? I mean, how did that happen? Dude literally forgot how to play football right after signing the one of the biggest contracts ever. I used to have a poster. I should probably get a new one that had like the 100 greatest movie quotes of all time, like the most iconic movie quotes ever. And only two of them were from like the last 25 years. And I think if they updated the poster, they'd probably add like maybe two more from recent films. And it kind of got me thinking that was kind of emblematic of where cinema is now.
Yeah.
You're not seeing that many iconic lines. Yeah. I'm looking at a list of like generally considered to be the best movies of the 2020s so far, and I'm thinking about like iconic lines, and I'm not feeling it, you know? Like if you want to go
Yeah.
back to the
And
2010s, you've got like Were You Rushing or Were You Dragging? I think that's a good one. This is 2008, but there's, Why So Serious? There's I Drink Your Milkshake. But again, this is like 15, 16 years ago. What was my favorite movie that came out in 2023? Probably Oppenheimer, but it might be Godzilla minus one. I have to admit, I liked Godzilla minus one a little bit less after I saw Shin Godzilla, because I actually, after seeing both, think Shin Godzilla was probably a little bit better. More interesting angle. Oh, David, it's already official. They've hired Doc Rivers. It's official.
Man, if I was a Bucks fan, I'd be so pissed.
Mostly because you live in Milwaukee.
I mean, like they did win a ring very recently still, so I mean, being a fan of the team's not the end of the world. But realizing that this pretty much closes the window on Giannis ever competing for a title again has got to be brutal. Unless they move on from Doc quickly, so like they just have to rely on Damian Lillard's history as a super cancer coach killer. If that doesn't kick in quick, then they're just toast. Because I mean, Giannis, I think this is his 10th season now.
Something like, yeah, it's 9th or 10th.
So if you consider like the average amount of time that it takes to move on from Doc, is like about 5 seasons. That's pretty much it. 5 seasons from now, Giannis is not going to be perennial MVP candidate, leader of the team. And this season's his fucking peak. Like he's playing his best basketball, and all of a sudden, oh, here comes Doc to ruin the day. Like at the very least, this season's a wash. That fucking sucks.
I wonder what Griffin did, man. Did he like bang Giannis's wife or something? Like, it must have been bad.
Well, that's the thing. He didn't do anything. He was just the only guy who could get blamed for Damian Lillard playing like shit. But Lillard playing like shit hasn't made the Bucks a bad team. They're 30-13, second in the East, third best record in the league. Just let Lillard figure the shit out on his own. You don't have to throw anybody on that fucking sacrifice altar. Just definitely looking fucking amazing right now. Like I tried telling Bucks fans when they told me that firing Budenholzer was the right move. I'm all like, you realize that Budenholzer got you your first ring since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar went by Lou Alcindor. And he did that with mostly the same roster that Jason Kidd couldn't get past the first round with.
I mean, even if you don't care about that, he just got the 1 seed. And I know it ended poorly, but it's not like Milwaukee was limping into the playoffs as a 7 seed and getting blown out in the first round every year.
Right. And what bothers me, that was the least eighth seed that we've seen in decades. Like, the Bucks could have just lost to Miami in the Eastern Conference Finals in the exact same way that they did, but Buck wouldn't have gotten fired because it happened in the Eastern Conference Finals instead of in the first round. That's just a bad matchup. Like you get what you get. But the longer the playoffs went on and the more Miami kept winning, the more it just became obvious that all they really fucking did was fire a guy who's the best coach that they ever had a couple of days after his brother was tragically killed because he lost a playoff series against a team that is really fucking difficult for anybody to beat. Like, because it needs to be explained, there's all these rumors and innuendo and all this kind of crap coming out about, oh, well, this is the reason why Griffin got fired, or this is the reason why Bud got fired. Is that the Bucks are trying to cope by saying that they fired Bud because they were disappointed with his playoff performance, in the sense that they were upset that he was outclassed as a coach by Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra literally outclasses everybody else as a coach. Plus, he's one of the best playoff coaches of all time. So, what exactly are we arguing here?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. I mean, like, at some point you have to give credit to the team that beat you instead of just thinking, holy shit, we lost to a bunch of complete fucking retards. This is inexcusable. Fire everybody. Because, I mean, if you're going to do that kind of shit and you're going to use that as your justification, then why can't we point at Giannis joking on the foul line the entire series? You know, it's the same logic for why can't we blame Dame for playing like shit himself? Like, it's got to be the scheme is the reason. Nobody else is having problems.
Maybe Doc will hook Dame up with his daughter, and Dame will go off for 60 his next game.
Yeah. Seth Curry watching in the corner, dressed as Superman. Almost always dressed as Superman. Been fishing the entire duration of this night, and I just got like 1/4 of the net is filled. So I'm like, there is no fucking way I'd ever fill this thing up to the brim.
Oh, you're catching fish pretty quickly then. If you've already got 50 pounds worth, nice job.
Yeah, but this point's just taking me like the whole night.
I just keep waiting for the early April Fool's joke to come from the Milwaukee Bucks Twitter account. Like Doc
Seriously.
Rivers. Haven't we already learned the important stuff here? Yeah, I haven't seen
Yeah, I
Air in
mean,
person.
I can only understand this as being considered an upgrade for the Bucks from the perspective of they went from losing in 5 games to losing in 7. So I guess it's an upgrade.
Remember when Doc Rivers literally trapped DeAndre Jordan in his own house until he signed the offer with the Clippers?
But yeah, that was pretty funny.
Nice kitty.
Yeah, I really have no fucking idea what Nikki Haley's thought process is here. She's literally the only person who's still running against Trump. Why does she think she's like
I mean, it's
what's
obvious she hopes that he goes to prison or something. It's literally all it can be. Are they done counting in New Hampshire yet? Almost.
this makes me wonder if they try rigging it again, it's just gonna like things are gonna tip over, you know. So a lot of people speculating that they wouldn't do it this time because people they're on the lookout for it. They can't get away with that shit 3 times in a row. Other sort of stuff. But I'm sitting here thinking, well, they have to at least try to rig it, not because they can think that they can actually win that way, but like if they just go completely hands off here, like this is going to be legendary, and then it's going to make 2020 look even worse. That the guy who allegedly got the most votes in history loses by like 15 million or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if states like California would allow the popular vote to be a blowout like that. Like, it might be an
Yeah.
electoral landslide, but I don't think it would be a popular vote necessarily, although it could be. You never know.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. It's like I've got no idea what could end up happening there. Like, would they try to do their best to do certain things in order to cape up and be like, okay, well, we got this, we got that, we did this, we did that. Like you're saying, well, you won the popular vote, so abolish the electoral college, guys. That's what we really got to do.
Hmm.
That kind of shit.
Ooh,
Maybe,
trophy.
but
Very nice.
wow, what a fucking guy you found there, CNN. I cannot believe that this is wow. Um, CNN's interviewing a guy, New Hampshire voter, who said that he voted for Nikki Haley. So like, well, why did you vote for Nikki Haley over Trump? I was like, well, I really like Nikki Haley a lot more than Trump. I don't like Trump. I think Nikki Haley's more respectable, and I think that she would be a better fit for the Republican Party leadership than Donald Trump. So, like, okay, do you identify more as a Republican, Independent, or a Democrat? He's like, I'm a Democrat. Like, okay, if it was Nikki Haley versus Joe Biden, who would you vote for? He's like, Biden.
Yeah, there was a lot of that tonight.
Like, what the fuck?
And the thing is, South Carolina also has an open primary, I guess, so you could see her get a little bit closer than she should just because of that. But once we get to these closed primary states, which I think most of them are, it's all ogre.
Yeah, but that's the funny part. Even with all that going on, where like most of Nikki Haley's votes are people angrily voting against Trump, not because they're Republicans who don't want Trump to be the nominee, but because they're Democrats who would take any opportunity to vote against Trump. So that's like her entire voter base right now, and she's still getting blown the fuck out. Like, Okay, yeah, so according to exit polls so far over New Hampshire, roughly 2/3, perhaps as much as 70% of Haley's voters in New Hampshire are not registered Republicans.
Yeah.
And she's still getting fucking annihilated. Like,
Rested Butts, welcome to the stream. Interesting username.
Jesus. Did you say frosted butts?
Crested. Crested.
Oh. I was like, frosted butts takes me back.
Oh, that was some serious ass busting I just pulled off there.
Jesus. Ow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the only thing you need to know is despite all that, Trump broke the all time record for total number of votes in a New Hampshire primary ever. So the reason why Nikki
Right.
Haley got close is that more people than usual voted rather than her getting some high percentage of the typical voting pool.
Right. Way more people than usual voted, and she got blown the fuck out anyway because a bunch of Democrats showed up to vote for her as a protest vote against Trump. And didn't work.
And New Hampshire literally might be her best state. Come on in, fishy boy. Are you a homosexual?
Arf, arf. Uh-oh, why is Tom Hanks trending?
Oh, okay, that actually kind of reminds me in a very tangential way. You know the guy who was the dude in 50 Shades of Grey, the movie?
I know of him.
He recently had a heart attack of some kind out of nowhere.
Oh gosh.
And it has been blamed on toxic caterpillars.
Wow.
See if I can find this.
See, when they blame ridiculous horseshit like that, it's almost like a fucking dog whistle for you know exactly what the fuck is at fault here. What are the odds it's actually toxic caterpillars? You know?
There we go. Yeah, I found it.
Yeah, like I'm not fucking believing it's toxic caterpillars. You kidding me?
The fuck is he doing? Like living in his garden and caterpillars are crawling all over him when he's sleeping? And one of them like got up his butthole or something and shot toxins into him?
Yes. He took a caterpillar enema.
So I went to the retro game store today, like I was saying,
Mhm.
and one thing they have
Mhm.
there that's actually kind of cool is you remember strategy guides that you would actually like buy that were like these really fancy books?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, obviously beyond worthless in this day and age, but it's kind of fascinating because I remember having a few for the games that I had. They put a lot of effort into those things.
Yeah, I definitely miss him.
Yeah. Like that's why I love physical games. Like they came with an instruction manual that actually had some effort put into it. They came with the or you would buy the strategy guide to go with it. Shit was great, man.
Oh, Tom Hanks is trending because he posted a shirt, an anti-Trump shirt. He posted a picture of him wearing it.
Shut it down. It's all over.
Yeah, seriously.
You know, my head coaching video that I made for Masato is getting more views than a vast majority of my actual head coaching candidate videos. Maybe I should have made more of the joke videos. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure that it's also farming a lot of the bait kind of thing, where oh my god, Seahawks Brendan Nelson is so stupid. Did you see this? He made a video about a cartoon character.
Probably. Oh,
And that's
what's the
that's how you
point
got
of
a
keeping
million
fish?
views.
Yeah, you sell them, crested butts. Crested butt. You sell them. Hold on one second. Let me pull this one in, and then I'll show you.
Yes. For catching any fish at all, you always get experience. However, if it's if you don't have a license that allows you to keep the fish, or if it's too big for your net, or any other number of things that prevent you from keeping it, you'd have to release it. Or if you feel like you don't want it taking up space in your net because it's a cheap piece of shit, you can throw it back. But keeping it is exactly like Joker said, for the purpose of actually making money, because keeping it enables you to sell it.
Right. So in order to sell what's in your net, what you can do is go to the time menu and jump ahead to the next day because your net will automatically empty out for money at the end of the day night cycle. You can also go leave the pond, although if you do that, in order to come back, you're going to have to spend money. Yes, Six Flags. I did hear about the Kari Lake audio clip. Really, really bad. People are so afraid of Kari Lake, and I don't know why. You know who lost a lot of weight over the last year or so? Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She has slimmed up like crazy.
Or maybe she's going to be the VP pick, and she had to slim down so that they wouldn't both be fat.
Nikki Haley, Joe Manchin, independent third party presidential ticket.
Good grief.
At least Ronna McDaniel admitted tonight that Nikki Haley has no path forward. She actually went on Fox News and was like, this primary's over. And that's from Ronna McDaniel. That means something. Like, she's fucking useless on this stuff. How long do you fish a lake slash pond? Well, I've been doing this for a long time, Crested Butts, because this lake is the best place to fish for money until you get to about level 30, starting at about level 20. So the game didn't get balanced very well, admittedly. So you end up spending like 10 levels here. But level 30, I'm going somewhere else. I can't remember what it's called, but one more level up and I can finally be done with this place. Because
Yeah, there's plenty of other places that you could go, but they have fish that are very not lucrative to catch. Walleye are one of the highest weight to dollar ratio of any fish in the game.
and they are easy to
And
catch. You don't even need bait.
right. The other ones that you start catching is just because they're so large that even though they're not as efficient pound to dollar value wise, they're
I
still extremely valuable just for having the thing.
I think this is called Emerald Lake. It's the New York one, if I recall
Yes.
correctly. I can't remember where I'm going next, but I don't need to look it up until I get another level up, which is going to take a few nets worth, probably.
St. Croix Lake, Michigan.
Michigan, okay. Red the Asian, welcome to the stream. How are you doing tonight? Welcome aboard. All right, so now we're going to fast forward to the following night. And our net empties and we get our money. Good, trying some new gear. I'll be trying new gear maybe the next time I play this game. It depends on how quickly I'm able to get this final level up here. Trying to get to St. Croixy. Um, St. Croix. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce these words that end in like X. Is it Saint Croix? I don't know how to pronounce it. Well, the next lake I'm going to is the one in Michigan. I know that. I can't. I don't know what it's called because I haven't looked at the map in forever. Get in here, you little bastard. You tell those bastards down in Houston that no Yankee. Okay, yeah, Red. I'm going there when I get to level 30, basically. And I figure I'm gonna need a whole new rod and line and bait and kit. So I'm gonna try to you get maximum mileage out of this setup and just chuck it into the recycling bin when it's done. You will be going for pike there. Very cool. I'm excited. I is there a level cap to this game, by the way? Was it like level? I think there's a level cap to this game. I've looked it up before.
Max level of 80.
Ah, we are a long way away from that. Hassan Piker, I'm gonna come to your house in California and kill you.
Oh, in real life. The Lakers are trying to trade for Andre Drummond. I find this hilarious because any team could have had Andre Drummond for free like 3 months ago. Not only that, but this really does not fix their fucking problems as a team. Like, not even a little bit. Like, what's the plan? Have a backup for when Anthony Davis inevitably goes down? Like, and the backup's Andre Drummond. My God.
To get somebody who can slow down Jokic, probably, given that he cooked him last year.
I
I don't
think
know if
Andre Drummond could even slow down uh, fucking anybody.
Jovic,
But
much less Jokic.
yeah,
Nikola Jovic. Stay
The
in.
Dame package, just lighten it up.
What happens at level 31, Red the Asian? Okay. Eventually, I want to have one of those setups where you have like 8 different rods in the lake at the same time on those rod
Yeah,
stands, and you
the
just
rod
stand
stand.
there
Yeah.
and watch and wait for one of them to get picked up. That's the dream. That's when you actually turn this thing into like a business. And then you hire some like Chinese immigrant to monitor the rods for you for 50 cents
Exactly.
a day. You get the better rod and you will be able to get the unis. Huh, okay. The thing is, Red, I've been doing this for so long, catching walleye. I kind of want to do something else. Like this has gotten
Yeah.
like kind of mind numbing because I've been catching nothing but walleye for. I mean, I took a break from this game for like over a year, but dozens of hours of in-game time has been spent catching walleye. Even if the next type of fish we catch are literally just leaving your bobber out there and waiting and doing nothing, it would still be different than this, and I would appreciate that.
Man, remember Odell Beckham Jr.?
Yeah, he might win the Super Bowl this year.
Oh wow.
He's on the Ravens. Hey, howdy. Or hey, big country. Excuse me. Arctic's 13 feet 2 inches. Okay. Already edits. Thank you for the follow, by the way. Appreciate it. Welcome aboard. Yeah, Jimmy played pretty good. Should Jimmy Butler start saying that after games in his post-game pressers? Jimmy played pretty good today. That'd be
Only
great.
if he plays poorly. Make people be like, is that why he played bad? He was kicked in the head by a horse or something? No, I agree with you. I think that you should start saying that in post game interviews with one flourish. He should say the Jimmy. He should say the Jimmy played well today.
Like the Edge in U2. He always refers. He doesn't respond to being called Edge. It's always the Edge.
What are you, Jimmy, staring at?
Are you the kind of guy who would pee in the showers at the gym?
Yes, especially when I'm not showering. I just walk in there and just start peeing while people are using it.
Could you imagine?
uh, Jesus.
It's all pipes. No idea how that happened, but we're okay. Ooh, a big one. Oh, dude, you need a new keep net? I'll be getting a new keep net next time I go back to the globe. Which one way or another I'll have to do very soon here. I think the new keep net, the one that Snacks already got, is like 200 pounds, so that's going to be nice. And if the fish in the next, I have like 130,000 red, 130 grand, I think. This keep net is actually kind of perfect for this map though, because in the time it takes for me to fill up, it's usually pretty much morning, and I want to cycle the day. So this keep net's actually perfect for this map. Offensive offsides. We're playing our fucking asses out here for you to make that fucking call.
Did Kadarius Tony play in the?
No, he's been inactive for every game so far in the playoffs.
Okay,
I
that would
think,
have been hilarious.
yeah, if I were Kadarius Tony and I were playing in that game, what I would have done is the very first play of the game, I would intentionally line up offsides by like 8 yards. It's like, do you remember when Popovich did Hack a Shack on Shaq in the first five
Yeah.
seconds of a game?
Oh man, that was great. Shaq was all confused. He's like, "Why is this guy hugging me?" The game just started. Okay, it's nice to see you too. Oh man, that was classic.
Mm. I don't think Tony's played since that New England game where he had that drop, where he literally dropped it right to the defender. That was the one where Mahomes was like, I don't fucking get it, man. I just don't fucking get it.
That's when he walked up to Andy and he said, "Okay, I'm going to give you a very simple choice here. Either you bench him or you bench me, but one of the two of us is going to be sitting out the rest of this year."
Pretty much. Mm. So after scoring a touchdown in the playoff game last week, Travis Kelsey made like the heart hand symbol gesture thing up at Taylor Swift.
Right.
So a lot of people were making fun of that in memes, like because Travis Kelsey's the guy who's promoting the Pfizer shot for COVID, and they're like Travis Kelsey makes the signal of the organ that is most damaged by myocarditis or whatever.
Myocarditis almost killed
Myocarditis.
my grandma.
There you go.
That's amazing.
Like the big thing that they're advertising this year is that you can get your flu shot and your COVID booster at the exact same time, and it's okay. I imagine you must just go home and trip balls for about 6 to 7 hours after that. You must be completely fucked up after that, man. I don't care what they say. Phoenix, 14-foot, 10-inch rod, Big River 5000, barbels. Hooks. Wait, Red the Asian, so I don't need bait? So you don't need bait to catch pikes, it's just the hooks. Well, that's one less thing to worry about, I guess. I don't mind that.
Yeah, the lure.
Hmm. So somebody in chat that is a little bit of an expert in this game is saying that it might be better to fish here until we get to level 31, because at 31 you unlock the best possible rod for pike fishing. I don't know if that's the case or not, but something to think about at least.
Well, if that's the case, we could stay in
What's the
an
difference?
extra level.
We've been here forever. What's another
Exactly.
forever? Forever
Exactly.
plus 20 minutes or whatever.
Right.
Apparently there are some pikes that are up to like 40 pounds. I'm pretty excited about reeling in one of those fuckers. Like, goddamn. You are nothing but a charlatan and a disgrace to the office.
This is everything I hoped it would be.
What would you say at this point is your favorite story you've gotten out of Grok so far?
Probably the one where Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory is on the plane with the crown on. Excuse me, everyone. I have an announcement to make. Sir, you can't do that. Oh my god.
Kramer's birthday is remembered as a national holiday. Total DeSantis death.
Takes a deep breath and leans into the microphone.
What Doc Rivers should do at his acceptance conference for the head coaching job for the Milwaukee Bucks. It answers why
No,
he
no, no,
got
no, no.
hired.
No, no, no. What Mike Budenholzer should do when the Bucks beg him to come back after the disastrous season with Doc Rivers. Oh my god. Yeah, I also like this one when Sheldon was fucking at open mic night at the Apollo. But seriously, I have a question for you all. Why do black people call each other the N-word? Is it because they can't spell neighbor? Holy shit. That was fucking incredible.
No better than Dane Cook.
Raj looks mortified. The others are trying to stop Sheldon, but he's on a roll. The audience is enraged, and the stage manager runs out to stop him.
I still have a soft spot for the Kramer one where he gives the one-word speech because the idea of
Yeah,
somebody
that one.
doing that is just hysterical. You're planning on giving this big long speech in front of thousands of people, and it's just one word.
The one singular word that causes the audience to erupt in chaos.
Because it it just so perfectly captures something Kramer would do if Seinfeld was a show written by a white supremacist. Kashinji. What do your workouts consist of? I do a variety of things. Sometimes I lift weights and do the weight machine. Sometimes I do cardio. Sometimes I swim. I mix it up. Variety of different things. Scarecrow. I am actually losing weight over the past couple weeks. I was up at like 217. Now I'm down to like 211. I know that doesn't sound like much, but I'm not trying to look like a Spartan. I'm just trying to not be overweight. You ask guys for a spot? No. I don't. The weights I lift are not so incredibly heavy that I'm worried about needing a spotter. We don't have a big problem with that, Scarecrow Bar. Maybe it's because I work out at a YMCA, and that's not the kind of gym where people show up to make TikToks. I don't know, but that's not a big problem for me. Most of my gym is old people, straight up. I love cock. Isn't Planet Fitness considered like the worst possible mainstream gym? Or is that 24-hour fitness that everyone hates? I forget. $10 a month. My gym's definitely more expensive than that. But sometimes you need a cover charge to keep the riffraff out.
Amazing.
And $10 a month, so we're talking like 30 cents a day. Yeah, even homeless people could probably afford $10 a month. Yeah, my gym does actually allow homeless people in to shower, but it's a YMCA, so they probably feel like it's the Christian thing to do, which it is. I defecated. He orchestrated it. You should have thought before you spoken. Forspoken is a terrible game, guys. Is it true pee turns blue in the pool? I don't know. I remember one time when I was a kid, though, I was part of a PE class at the YMCA that involved swimming. One time, some kid, we never figured out who it was, but he shit his pants in the pool. When we were all in there, it was really bad. It was one of the most unpleasant moments of my life. I mean, honestly, I would probably bet on Ty. I think Ty France having a good year is more likely than Joey Gallo having a good year, but I'd rather not bet on either personally.
I'm very tired, and I
You're very
think
what?
I'm gonna very tired, and I think I'm gonna go get some sleep.
All right. I'm gonna get out of here as soon as I fill my net, which should not take too much longer. I only need to catch like maybe two or three more fish. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with working out with a bunch of old folks, Scarecrow Bar. They act respectfully. Yeah, one interesting thing is that my YMCA has all of their signs in two different languages, English and Korean, because generally speaking, they've always had a lot of Korean people. So they provide the signage in those two languages. I just saw that picture you sent me, Stacks. That's pretty good.
Oh,
How long I have dreamed to finally pull you out of your cushy lair and expose you as the monster that you are, a monster so vile. You control the mail, you control information. Nap Fitness 400 for a year, that's like still barely over $1 a day. Now you'd have to go every day, which you won't, but I mean, I don't go every day, and I still feel like I get my money's worth. Get out of the water, you little bitch. There we go. Scarecrow bar, that's the worst fucking idea I've ever heard of in my life. Alright, we filled our net. I hope you've never actually done that, Scarecrow bar. That's a horrible idea.
No, you don't leave it for her to find on quote unquote accident. What you do is you go dig through the trash at a bank and you look for an ATM receipt that has a really big bank balance, the biggest one you can find, especially if it's 7 figures or more. And then you use that as a scrap piece of paper. So then you offer to give a woman your phone number, you write it down on that piece of paper, you hand it to her. And, she's like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever, pal. I'll definitely give you a call. Then she turns it over, sees the fucking bank balance, and she'll give you a call. But here's the thing, in the state of Arizona, it's actually illegal to do that because they call that sexual assault under false pretenses. She never would have fucked you if she didn't think you were rich. Meanwhile, you just wrote the number down on a piece of paper you found out of the trash. It's insane.
Yeah. And then on your way out, you pull out a shovel and you hand it to her, and you call her a gold digger.
Exactly.
I remember those fucking videos. Part of me feels like they had to be scripted. I can't believe that a real life woman would be so obviously transparent that they would turn a guy down and be like, I have a boyfriend. And then they see them get in a Lamborghini and immediately they're just like, oh, I think I can salvage this. Like, it's hard for me to believe that real women in real life would think like that.
Well, because we're guys, we can think about fucked up shit that guys would do. And so we can think about, yeah, I could see a guy doing this or that. That's just a fucked up thing that girls do. It's not
That's
like all of
true.
them do it, but they're definitely capable of it.
I mean, at the end of the day, they probably tried that take a few hundred times and they got a handful of girls to actually do it.
Yeah.
That's
Depending on where you go, though, you're going to have a lot more success than other places. You
hmm
know, if you tried something like that in like some small rural farming town in like Indiana, I don't know if it'd go over the same as if you tried that shit in like downtown LA.
in downtown LA, you'd probably just end up getting stabbed.
Well, yeah, I meant like a few decades ago before you would just fucking die for being there.
So I like this meme, but I also think it's a little inaccurate. I don't know if that really fully captures the futility of what's going on here.
Looks replacing Adrian Griffin with Docker is the name, sure. Yeah, you're right. This is not because Adrian Griffin is just some guy.
Mhm.
You know, he doesn't have a history of being the biggest fucking choke artist of a coach in the history of the NBA. Like it's not a case of Doc Rivers has lost more game sevens than any other coach because he's played in so many game sevens. Like Bill Belichick, second all time in wins, tied for first all time in losses. Just coaching forever, so comes with the territory. Not a situation like that at all. Because most of Doc Rivers' Game 7 wins are just from 2008.
And it was
And his
embarrassing he
losses.
let those series get to 7 games anyway. So
Exactly. Exactly. And then his losses extend across like 4 or 5 different franchises.
he must give really good job interviews, man. He must be the world's best interviewer.
Well, when he brings over his daughter to. Oh man. All right, I am about to pass out. I gotta.
All right, I'm getting some videos uploaded for tomorrow. Then I'm gonna go to sleep too. See you tomorrow, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Take it easy.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it seems like something happened to David, right? Like something happened where Giannis was like, I can't do this. Get him out of here, right? Had to be some element of like, just go away. Even if it is like the defense, though, you got to give him some time, right? You would think. All right. All right, guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow.